Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I just got through watching footage of all three of the Lakers prospects that they're bringing in the undrafted market, and we talked about these guys a little bit, but I hadn't done any homework on them, so I figured I'd just kind of come to you guys fresh off of watching footage from all three of these dudes. Well, let's see. Am I missing one? I think I'm missing a guy. I think we just picked up another dude that I didn't do homework on, but the ones we initially picked up, Alex Fudge, Demoy Hodge, and Colin Castleton are the guys that I'm referring to. And I'll start with Castleton, who I saw first, and I really like what I saw from Castleton. It wasn't nothing surprising there because I had already told you guys this was a player I was interested in because of his passing ability, defensive ability, and overall motor. He can push the ball. He doesn't quit on plays. He thinks defense. Um, and I just really like his overall effort level from play to play to play. He just really attacks the game itself. He doesn't wait for the game to come to him, so to speak. He pushes himself into situations to be effective. Recovery defensively. Even if he gets beat, he's looking to chase you down. And on the offensive end, he could pull down the board and push the break himself, as we've talked about, make plays and things like that. And he's also good at scoring the ball in the paint. He has some nice patience that he shows as necessary to score the basketball on the inside. So I really like Colin Castleton as an upside center for the Lakers, especially since we're having some issues finding centers in the buyout market, or rather in the free agency market. It doesn't look very nice for us. Having him on board on a rookie contract will be heaven sent as he develops going forward, especially as it seems that position is becoming more scarce. So I'm really a fan there, and I don't think anybody who follows me will be surprised by that. And I've been a fan of Colin Castleton for about a week now. You know how that goes. We just find out who these prospects are, but as soon as I realized what he could do, particularly passing the ball, I knew this was a prospect the Lakers should be wise to bring in. So yeah, that's what I say about Colin Castleton. Just overall fantastic center prospect that could play both sides of the floor. Not going to shoot the ball, as we know, no three-point shooting there, but he makes up for it with a whole lot of other things that he does. He sets good screens and stuff like that as well. He's really a reliable center in that way. So I'm looking forward to seeing his development in our organization. The next guy I want to mention is Demoy Hodge, and I didn't get a chance to see defensive footage, which is really what I need to be looking for in regards to Demoy. What I saw more so was his catch and shoot ability, which is a reliable, very reliable, good footwork. Um, Guy that has nice balance and just a nice overall catch and shoot player, which is something we didn't have a whole lot of. We did a good job of making sure Demoy can do that, and making sure, of course, our other guy, the Maxwell Lewis, as well, is very good at that. And so I'm looking forward to us being a much better catch and shoot team this year just by adding Demoy. But I think what most stands out about Demoy is not necessarily how good he is able to help you on the offensive end, but how gifted he is on the defensive end. That's why I want to see defensive stats on this dude. I just understand him to be extremely talented on that side and aggressive, and he's known for stealing the ball. So I'm super excited about Demoy Hodge. I don't think it's going to be long before he has an actual rotation role on our team. Um, I look at him as this year's Austin Reeves for us potentially. Probably the guy that's going to make the most impact in that undrafted free agency market, because I just look at that role and I say the Lakers could use a defensive guard because we don't have many defensive guards. And even though I think Jalen Hood-Schifino could defend, he can defend, and he's going to turn into a very solid defender. I think guys who are just naturally talented on that side are definitely needed for most teams. And for us to find one in the undrafted market is a heaven sent. What I like most about all three of these guys is they all three help on both sides of the floor. You're not going to find any defensive liabilities in this trio. And on the offensive side, they have a lot to offer you, all three. So Demoy Hodge, really with his catch and shoot ability, is really all I was able to see. But he also has some good athleticism in the open court. He can dunk the ball quite a bit aggressively on top of people as well. So that's what stood out for me, was just his overall explosiveness. He could really get out in that fast break off of steals and stuff like that, loose balls, and he's gone. He's the first person down the floor. So he's a very fast player, nice athleticism, And overall, I just really think that he's gonna have a role on this team. If not this year, at some point. I don't see him being somebody that fades away. Um, and last but not least, I believe his name is Alex Fudge. I think his name is Alex, but definitely Fudge, like chocolate. And this dude is an athlete, man, athlete. And I don't know if this is one of those situations where you're saying you can only keep so many people. And even in our G League situation, it's becoming a situation where we're probably going to end up losing some players that we really like in the G League just because you have to replenish them with new guys. And this is one of those new guys that he's pushing somebody out of the way. It's that kind of thing. We're bringing him in as a freshman out of Florida, 6'8". I don't know what his wingspan is, but it got to be more than 7 feet. It got to be more than 7 feet. The metrics are crazy. The athleticism is crazy. The explosiveness is crazy. His ability to defend and rim protect is crazy. And I'm to say I'm excited about this guy is an understatement. I just like the fact that we're getting these statues, these guys that have long arms, Koulibalys and stuff like that. You want to see how many of these dudes can really play. Some of them can, some of them can't. But if you get the right ones, I mean, the sky's the limit. So that's why I like that we picked up Alex Fudge, because he's one of them dudes, them lengthy, stilts that can kind of just, stretch out his arms and be 8 feet tall, that kind of thing. We just need to try to make sure that we cross all of our T's and dot our I's when coming across a prospect like that. And that's why I like our scouts, because not only do we find so many different things that address what the team needs, but they also find these unicorn dudes like Alex Fudge, who nobody knows can really do anything. You get him at 19 years old and just hatch him 3-4 years down the road. Who knows? Literally, who knows? When you look at a prospect like that, the sky's the absolute limit. So for me, I'm super excited about him. His explosiveness is crazy. Like I said, the best way in order to describe it is crazy, because he can dunk the ball in very, very explosive ways. He can block shots, weak side block capability. He doesn't quit on plays, just like Castleton. So this is somebody you could put on the floor, and you best believe he's going to contribute in ways that you want to see. Vanderbilt, he's going to help in ways that Vando does. And I don't know if he's going to help right out the gate, but if for some reason he stumbles his way onto this team, I guarantee you he's going to be somebody we're going to enjoy watching. Lob threat, obviously. As they say, put him in the dunker spot. Easy buckets. He's definitely an explosive two-hand dunker. And I would love to see the Lakers just keep this kid in our organization for just like we did Caruso. Just let him hang around for a couple years. Call him up on a two-way soon, next year or something like that. Put him in a two-way situation. Bring him along slowly like we're doing Max Christie. And, just take your time with Alex Fudge. Don't let him go anywhere. Just let him hang around. That's what I want to see the Lakers do. Let him hang around. By year 3, year 4, that dude's going to be a regular player for us, and we're going to be very happy he's a part of our rotation. But it's going to take some time, but he's definitely a keeper. That's the key to all this, because sometimes we're bringing in dudes like Scottie Pippen. It doesn't look like he's going to get an opportunity with our team. Maybe he doesn't get called up, that kind of thing. Alex Fudge is not the prospect to let go of. I'm telling you that right now. He's the one you hatch. He's the one you forget about. And in a couple years, just bring him out. And people are like, where the heck did he come from? Let everybody forget about Alex Fudge. Just keep him on South Bay. Let everybody forget about him. Let him develop, put on muscle. Yeah, that's the prospect you hold on to for about 3 years, and then people forget about him, and then you just unleash him on the league. That's how you do that. We got us one. So yeah, I think that's one of those situations where, as a fan who values prospects, I'm thrilled by that guy. That dude is like, that's a no-brainer for me, man. You got to keep that player around. And so yeah, that's what I have to say about Alex Fudge, and also some more information, not necessarily information, but just some more understanding of our guy Max Lewis. Max Lewis also is a fantastic athlete, and we talked about his athleticism to a degree, but no, that's one of his major strengths, is his ability to cover a lot of ground in long strides, as they say, to get low in situations where he's turning the corner, sort of like Jalen Green. is able to, like a Giselle, just pick up different types of inertia just by being athletic as he is. That's the type of player that Max Lewis ultimately is. What we're going to have to do is work on his defensive awareness, as I've been listening to people talk about it all day long. He's not overly talented defensively, but he does have the tools. He does have the length. In fact, his arms are long like Alex Fudge. I mean, he goes on forever. So when you consider the type of prospect we got at 40, I mean, I don't think it was only Cam Whitmore was probably better value in the entire draft this year. Only Cam Whitmore. We definitely could have gotten him at 17 and it would have been justifiable, honestly. But the fact that we got him at 40 was major. And I know the Lakers traded up to get him. I think from what I understand, it cost us like $5 million to trade up in order to do that. I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it because I think this is going to be a fantastic shot maker, fantastic athlete. And as I told everybody, I think his upside is probably right-handed RJ Barrett. I really do. Right-handed RJ Barrett, because I don't expect RJ Barrett's guarding anybody ever, but he can score all day long. But he's also the kind of guy that's kind of not a superstar guard like a Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, nothing like that, but he has the upside to have a game where he scores 60 points or something like that. That's what I think Maxwell Lewis is ultimately going to be. DeAndre Hunter type guy, but DeAndre's a two-way guy, plays defense, so that's a different story. But nevertheless, on the offensive end, I look at him as a guy who can attack in that way, hit from all three levels, fantastic at the line, just overall contributing quite a bit. It's going to be celebrated a lot for his shot making, that kind of thing. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Maxwell Lewis, especially now that we got him. I thought he was one of the best fits for us in the entire draft. So the fact that we were able to land him even more so in the second round is a no-brainer. And to be honest with you, when I saw him there, when I saw that we had drafted him, it was almost like I wasn't surprised. It was almost like that was like a no-brainer. I almost felt to a degree that when we were trading up to get Maxwell Lewis. That's basically what I thought in my head without verbalizing it on this channel, without actually saying anything. I was just thinking to myself, of all the prospects that we're probably trying to trade up to get in the second round, who is it that we think might drop that we would target like that? And the first person that came to mind was Maxwell Lewis. He was the first one that came to mind because I knew that there were other guys in the behind the draft in that range that were starting to gain steam. And I had heard of some of the things that were being said about him in regards to him quitting on his team, so to speak. Having a situation where he kind of just had a bad second half of the season after being explosive and super accurate in the first half of the season. So it's like those are the type of things that make it so that as draft day approaches, people start to back off of you. And I could get a feel for that, I guess you could say, at that time when we made the trade with the Pacers, try to get those picks. I'm like, you know what? That's probably what the Lakers, they got a whiff of his trade value starting to slip, and a notion that he'd probably be available at 40, as to which we probably trade up to get him because we know damn well he ain't falling past that. And that's exactly what happened there. And I don't think he would have fell past that. We had to get him at 40. Whoever was going to be at 40 was probably going to take him. But, that's one of those situations where I just think, obviously the player's going to have to develop. And over the course of time, we'll know throughout the ebbs and flows of a guy's career, you can start thinking all kinds of different things, as we've seen with Kuzma. You know what I mean? It's just like up and down. You never really know what you think of him. But I think with a guy like Maxwell Lewis, I think what you could say about Maxwell is the intangibles on the offensive end are all in place. The metrics are impressive, and the explosiveness is noteworthy when you consider this player as an accurate shooter. When you get him in the open floor, he's dunking the ball like one of the better ones. So yeah, that's what I think. We got to make him a really competent defender. We got to make him a part of a good defensive team, and we got to help him not turn the ball over, I guess. I don't know if that's one of his things or not. I might want to run that back because I'm not really sure if that's actually an attribute we have to worry about with him. Probably thinking more so of someone else in that one. But nevertheless, we just want to make sure all of our young players are taking care of the basketball in general. 3-point discipline, even though he's a fantastic 3-point shooter, We don't shoot threes just to be shooting them. So I'm pretty sure Phil Handy and our coaching staff is going to help him understand what the Laker way is, and Coach Ham will make it work accordingly. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I know there's more to be said about our rookies. Of course, we got Jalen Hood-Schifino as well. I don't think I've seen anything new on Jalen Hood-Schifino that would really stand out in regards to this conversation. I haven't seen anything new since last speaking of him, but it was something that I wanted to say. I think he might have been the guy that I heard turn the ball over a little too much. Somebody said something about that, but I'm not really sure about that either. But Jalen Hood-Schifino is going to be a really nice mid-range guy, like I said earlier. I just know he's going to attack that mid-range, and then from there he's going to make smart plays for other people. And he's going to be especially good at finding AD, finding Rui, diving into the paint, finding Austin as he dives into the paint into his spots. I think Jalen Hood-Schifino is just going to be a very sturdy piece. And on the defensive side, the upside is there, man. He looks like he's intent on defense. He looks like he has good stance, as they say, good balance. And he just looks really attentive. If he's not going to come out and be an overly talented defensive player, you could best believe that he's going to have some good defensive sequences as he develops. That is already something that I can see being the case. Maybe some misreads and stuff like that, but as far as him facing up a guy and getting in a position to try to stop him from tearing him up, he's going to be intent on doing that. Now, whether or not he's able to stop guys, we'll learn. We'll find out if he's that kind of guy, but I like what I saw from him thus far on the defensive end, and that is very encouraging. So yeah, I just think he's going to be a good gamer. For everything that he's probably not very good at, I expect he's going to put in the work. He looks like the type of guy who's very serious about just about everything he's doing. He just comes off as that kind of person. Understand that he's a vegetarian. And for a guy in his, early 20s, not even 20 yet, to make that decision to take his diet seriously, I love what that means for him going forward, being a good pro. And that's really what I think the Lakers were passing on Cam Whitmore, knowing that they wanted their next point guard to be sturdy. Not just sturdy of the body, but sturdy of the mind. We won championships with Derek Fisher, 5 rings with a guy like that. He didn't have to make all-star teams or win three-point contests. He just needed to come in, be a pro, take care of his body, be efficient with the things that he was good at. You know what I mean? Know his role, not try to be a superstar, not try to do too much, but always be ready to do more. And that's really what gave us a recipe for a championship. We had our stars, and then we had a point guard down there who always played his role at an elite level. And when it was time for him to hit big shots, he didn't hesitate to be the guy that was the hero. He wasn't waiting for Kobe and Shaq to win the game. He was helping us on his own. And I think Jalen Hood-Schifino could turn into that kind of guy. Maybe not a shot maker like Derek Fisher per se from behind the arc, but other areas, playmaking, he's gonna do some of that for us in a different way, but I expect the same type of tone. The one thing about Jalen Hood-Schifino I have to wonder about is the pace that he plays with, and I think this is a preference thing for the Lakers, because D'Angelo Russell plays with that same pace where it's kind of methodical. They ain't really rushing at nothing. But the problem is that slow down, methodical pace. When D'Angelo did it, it didn't translate to a good flow for the others. It translated into us finishing possessions effectively because he would finish possessions himself with that pace. But it was kind of herky-jerky in terms of the rhythm of everybody else trying to get into that rhythm with him. So that's why it's not really my preference in regards to play style for a point guard. You know what I mean? I think the Lakers are looking for that though. And I think they've handpicked guys who are methodical and slow in their motions, as opposed to having a fluid kind of herky-jerky, back and forth kind of guy. And so I think that's just what the Lakers are looking for. Problem is, I don't know that Anthony Davis really plays well with guys like that. I don't know that LeBron James necessarily plays that great with those type of point guards. I think they play better with the Kyrie Irving, Darius Garland kind of shifty dudes. So that's really what I'm looking at. I just think, I just don't really know about that pace for us. I didn't like it when D'Lo did it, put it like that. and we're bringing in Jalen to kind of do the exact same thing. I don't love it. I just don't like the style. That's really what it is. It's effective though. It just makes for a more of a half court type of thing. Even when you're in fast break situations with D'Lo, he kind of slow it down, and it's like, bro, just attack. I mean, just attack the rim. But when you don't have the athleticism to do that, guys like this rely upon that methodical ability to slow down. Like, they need it to kind of get to their spots, and so that's why I don't prefer it, because it's usually attached to a guy who can't do anything else. And so that, you know what I mean? That's really what it is. And looking at Jalen, he's exactly like that. He's not getting to the rim. He's going to slow it down. And sometimes you're worse for that. Sometimes you're worse for that. So I want to see him in the summer league. Hopefully he can show me that he's a lot different than what it is I've seen these these highlights. And I want to be high on Jalen Hood-Schifino. I really do. I want to be high on him. I think he can be a fantastic attacking player from the mid-range. Like I said, his passing can be dynamic. He can really help us defensively. So I think he's going to be very sturdy. I just don't know if he's going to put enough pressure on the rim for my liking. And if we asked him to do that, I'm not sure he's going to hold up. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing I'm worried about. So I don't know. I'm not coming in as high on him as I am the rest of the prospects that we got. I'm excited about all the guys we drafted behind him, but him is like, damn, we sure we left Cam Whitmore on the board? That's kind of how I feel about that. Several days later, hopefully as the summer league approaches, he can blow us all away and be an amazing prospect for us with a lot of upside. But I am not overly thrilled about this point guard. I am not overly thrilled. I like him for certain situations. I think he's going to be a fantastic attacker when he becomes what he's going to become. He's going to be fun to watch. But I just worry about guys who are forced away from the rim. Forced away from the rim. That just really, to me, limits their upside in general. As long as they're being rendered jump shooters, as long as it's only about passing and shooting jumpers, I just wonder if it's not gonna you're not gonna find yourself looking at them like, all right, he's cool, you know what I mean? But let's move on to somebody else. Like, all right, like almost like we had Jordan Farmar. Remember we had Jordan Farmar? And Jordan was good, but you wasn't starting him. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have him kind of be your future guy. You like him being your backup guy, and you're solid that way. You want championships that way. You feel me? That's kind of how I wonder if Jalen Hood-Schifino is about to be another Jordan Farmar caliber type of point guard for us. And when we have our point guard of the future as a backup, like Ty Lue. Remember Ty Lue back in the day? For those of us who are old enough to remember, Jalen Hood-Schifino might be our Ty Lue. And then we're looking for our point guard to step in front of him, as to which Jalen will be our career backup, and we love him for it. I think that's probably what that's going to end up being. And I worry about that because I don't know if that's the best value at 17 this year. If that's what I think he's ultimately going to be. And I do. I really do. I think that's what he's ultimately going to be. If not for us somewhere down the road, he's going to be a career backup. And if that's right, if I think I'm right, we should have took Cam Whitmore. That's the reality of it. You just take the athlete that can dunk the ball 100 times a game, and you maybe trade him at the halfway mark for that point guard and a center, and that's the point. That's the point, y'all. Because if for some reason I decide I want to trade Jalen Hood-Schifino, I can't get all that for him. But Cam Whitmore, I probably will. That's why you do that. That is exactly why. So, and not only that, but now I'm looking at our situation, to be completely honest with you, and we don't really have an answer at center outside of Castleton and Bamba. We're going to be asking AD to play even more center this year than we did last year, in theory. I think they were counting on Naz Reid being available. I don't know. Maybe they count on being able to trade for somebody. I don't know. But the free agency market ain't looking great for the center position, and I just look at that and I say, as much as we needed a point guard, we probably needed a big even more. And given that Whitmore is 230 pounds, even though he's 6'6", he still gives me more front court help, more size and defensive help for guys who are going to be playing that position. Elite scoring that takes the pressure off of AD to score, so he can focus more on defense, which he's going to have to without a center down there. These are the type of things I just don't think we really had time to think about. Maybe they needed me in the room to say this. But I just felt like with D'Angelo Russell there, Dennis Schroeder there, no Chris Paul, but I'm happy about that. But, I just think you could have probably gotten away with getting a big as well, as we feel good about getting a point guard in that situation. In other words, I think we needed a big just as bad as we needed a point guard. And I didn't really see it that way on draft night, but now that I'm looking at how it's shaking out, you probably need the size a little more than you need the guard. Because at least with our situation before the draft, we knew we had D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder at least playing point guard. Center position? We don't have no answer to center at all. We got AD trying to play center. We got Bron playing center this year if we don't do something. We got Vando playing center this year. Are we bringing back Winion? We're going to have Winion playing center again. I'm telling you, Colin Castleton is going to be getting some real minutes. And this is going to be why. This is exactly why Castleton is going to be getting real minutes. He's going to be in the rotation for real because we ain't going to have no center. Mo Bamba, the problem with Bamba is he's making $10 million, which is okay, I guess, if you expect him to play up to that. But when is he ever going to play up to that? Is he ever going to be on the floor for longer than 2 weeks before something goes down where he's going to be out for 2 months? And that's why I'm like, bringing him back at $10 million just because I can't find a center probably ain't the move when I know there's a chance that coach won't play him any damn way because coach didn't play him before he got hurt. So why would I bring him back at $10 million just for coach not to play him? And that is why I'm not so worried about the free agent market of the center position, because I think it's a good chance you're going to get a Plumlee, you're going to get somebody like that and they ain't going to play. You're going to spend $8-9 million on a dude and he only going to play half the season. And it ain't going to be because he's hurt. It's going to be because coach ain't play him. I think if you have a Cam Whitmore, you're more likely to see coach put Cam Whitmore in a small ball 4, small ball 5 situation. And you still be dominant because he got these small ball lineups on the floor with a big guy like Cam Whitmore. See what I'm saying? These are the type of things I would have said in the draft room before we made the draft pick. It's like, Jalen Hood-Schifino, as much as we need a point guard and solidified necessary, no risk, how it looks to make decisions, while all of that is real good to optics. Jalen Hood-Schifino, but we're also the team that took Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum and De'Aaron Fox, and everybody and their damn grandma know we shouldn't have did that. We're the same team took Julius Randle over Nikola Jokic. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you right now, Jalen Hood-Schifino looks like the type of player that belongs on the Lakers. And the reason why is because the Laker organization has a certain type of player that they like going after. This is why you know a Laker when you see one, because they always pick the same type of dudes. I hate to say this, but I think we did it again. And I think it might have been a mistake this go round, just like it was with Lonzo. So I'm just telling y'all, like, the Lakers have certain personality traits, certain guys they think fit the mold. But sometimes, man, you got to snap out of that. Sometimes you got to snap out of that when you see value like that on the board. Even if you don't think this is one of your guys, you bring him in, and as I said, you trade him immediately before his value goes down, but you make sure you bring him in. I ain't married to Jalen Hood-Schifino so much if I'm a Laker organization representative that I don't see the fruit and letting him go by the wayside and then bringing me something that I can ultimately trade for triple. Because I may be able to get Jalen Hood-Schifino in that trade. And I'm going to be thinking that as I'm making the pick for Cam Whitmore. It's like whoever gets Jalen Hood-Schifino, they ain't going to love him more than I love having the value of Cam Whitmore when I trade him right now. I immediately flip him if I don't believe in him, if his medicals are bad and all of that. We bring him in for half a season, get his medicals right, send him out there to dunk on the people a couple times, and see on his value get raised up on one of them weeks where Anthony Davis is going to be out or LeBron James is going to be out, because that's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? For those who are wondering if there's a path to him playing, of course there is. We built around a 39-year-old. Cam would have been on the floor more than half the time. at the small forward position, least of all. So it's like, and I could have just brought back D'Lo, play point guard, the same way Jalen Hood-Schifino is about to play point guard. So it's like, man, the more I think about this, the less I like it. And look, I read what everybody said today. Or I read what was said in regards to the Lakers. The Lakers brought in Jalen Hood-Schifino with the intention of replacing Austin Reeves if for some reason that happens. And then later on this night, they came back and said that we're going to match Austin Reeves at $100 million no matter what. That's the maximum. We're going to match it. That doesn't make any sense. My speculation is that somebody else released that first information representing the Lakers. It probably didn't come from the Lakers. That's my guess. And the reason why is because I think at the end of the day, when you tell everybody that you're replacing Austin Reeves, that does not speak to you being willing to match his highest point. I ain't gonna lose him. He's restricted, and I'm matching him. You see what I'm saying? So for me, that was somebody on the other end trying to shake or loose whatever they can in regards to our relationship with Austin Reeves. However they see that going, they threw that little nugget out there in hopes of making him think that the Lakers think they're gonna lose him, or make his representation think something or whatever. Maybe the Lakers released that with the intention of telling his representation, you better not have us sign something too big because we may actually go back on our word and let you rock somewhere else if you sign too big of a deal. That's one functionality of something like that. But then to come back later on that night and just say, yo, we're going to max him all the way out, don't matter what nobody says, whatever they match him, whatever they sign him to, we're matching, then that negates the need for us to even release that statement earlier, which is why I don't think the Lakers released it at all. I think the Lakers released a second statement to reiterate that Austin Reeves is going to be LA Laker regardless. So that's what I think, man. I think it's a lot of misdirection being played by who knows what involved in this situation. And I just think it's a lot of games. I think it's a lot of games, and it's a lot of complications as to why a team would do something like that, or why a representative would do something like that. For all I know is to shake or loose a different player on one of these teams. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you're something with Austin Reeves, and therefore this guy is more so available or worth more or worth less, that kind of thing. So you always got to take into account the different things that have literally nothing to do with the conversation that could be affected by the conversation when considering the NBA. That's exactly why people do certain things. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at there. At any rate, if we were to lose Austin Reeves, Jalen Hood-Schifino is not necessarily a replacement for him. No, because they play different. Like, you're replacing the body. But what Jalen Hood-Schifino actually is the replacement for D'Angelo Russell, as we've already discussed, with the type of play style that D'Lo runs the team with, that's who Jalen actually plays like. That's who Jalen's position actually is. Point guard. Austin Reeves plays shooting guard, small forward, with point guard responsibilities. But he ain't running the one. D'Lo is. Schroeder is. And now Jalen is. So whatever is being said, the truth is Jalen is D'Lo's replacement. That is what he actually is. So just so everybody's clear on what that actually is, that's what it is. And of course, much needs to be said about Max Christie and how he looks right now. He's been squatting at least 7,000 pounds. Dude is built like a dinosaur, like a T-Rex. You ever seen a T-Rex, how they squat? They need so much strength. Yeah, that's how he's looking right now. Dude has been doing nothing but squats since the end of the season. And looks like he's well on his way to being tested for drugs, for PEDs. Expect that. That's coming. But in all seriousness, the young fella's putting in work, man. The young fella's putting in work. He's utilizing the gym. It seems like he's been intent on showing us how fantastic of a pro he wants to be going forward. And he should be ready for his role. He should be ready physically and mentally for his role. His jump shot and his game was coming along last season. I was impressed with what I saw from him from a mechanical standpoint in the second half of the season. So I would have put him on the floor then. with no concerns and just let him work his progressions. But the Lakers are even more patient with him, and he's having a good offseason. Unless that was Photoshop, but even if it is Photoshop, he's putting in the work. We can clearly see he's doing it, and I think the kid is doing. He's going to make himself a very, very, very wealthy person if he continues to put in the work and stay as consistent as he is. He's one of our best assets, and the reason why that is because we drafted him low, while everybody was saying he couldn't hit a jump shot. He's a shooter that can't shoot. Perfect. Bring him to us. Don't worry about what he can't do. Just let us worry about that. And now look at him. We can't wait to get him out on the floor. And he ain't missed a jump shot since he was drafted, pretty much. So take that. At any rate, I'm a big fan of Max Christie, and I wouldn't involve him in any trades of any kind. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of want the Lakers to stay away from the big name Trae Young, Dame Lillard, because I know for a fact, once you start making trades for guys like that, these are the players that you're going to have to give up in order to make that happen. And me personally, I'm not giving up none of my future for none of this, for this timeline. No. So for those who want Dame on this team, if we can do it without giving up any prospects, I'll be up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like bringing back a contract like that, I kind of want them to give me Shaedon Sharpe, bring back Dame's contract, to be honest with you. And I try to make that clear at least 2 times a day. But nevertheless, in a real NBA world, in the real world where people still think it makes sense to do stuff like that, you're going to have to give up Max Christie. You're going to have to give up all types of kids, Vando. You're going to have to give up all kinds of stuff to bring back a contract like that. And to be honest with you, I don't see that being the better path for the LA Lakers. I'd much rather keep the kids we got. I really would. I'd rather keep what I got and take my chances and try to see if I can continue to build around them going forward, bringing them the stars that ultimately will help them keep the timeline they own. Because I'm telling you, you bring a guy like that, he's trying to get away from kids, so you know he's going to want to deplete you of the ones you got. No way. Hell no. That's just the way that is. I'm good. I just don't care. I guess I'm in the future. For those who are wondering what's up with BDF 44, I'm already past all these superstars, man. All these dudes y'all been celebrating for the last 10 years. I'm ready to usher them out of here, man. Like salute, bro. I'm not spending nothing on y'all. If y'all prove y'all can still win, I'll be the guy that's an idiot in the end. But I promise you, ain't no country for old men. None. Now the Lakers are no team. LeBron's the last one. I am done. Everybody who can't contribute gotta go. It's only a few 35-year-olds I even want on my team. Brook Lopez happens to be one of them. He happens to be one of them. But it ain't too many, man. I'm telling you, it is not too many. If you are older and 33 years of age, we got to assess what you are actually doing on the basketball floor now. Because we are in a space. And look, young players, don't get it twisted. You're all going to get to this point. I'm going to say the same thing about you when you get there. You are not, you got to understand this is how it goes. Once you get to a certain level, if you can't still be a pro, we got to get you up out of here because you're going to want to make a lot more money than what you're going to be able to do for a team. And the fans are the ones that suffer having to lose in the end. No, because you go walk away a loser, but rich in your pocket. And we're going to be the ones spending that money trying to hope we get a championship and know damn well we ain't good enough of that. I want the youngsters on the team. I was listening to a conversation today. They were talking about what do you think about bringing in MPJ if we don't bring in, or KPJ rather, from the Rockets. If we can't bring back D'Lo, would I be willing to bring in KPJ from the Rockets? I think I probably started that because I'm the one running around telling everybody KPJ is somebody I need to be targeting for the Lakers. I'm telling you right now, it's not that I want to bring him in to help LeBron James and Anthony Davis win. Nah, he's just going to be a point guard I'm bringing in to help restart my rebuild. I don't necessarily have him in mind to be the championship, bring him to LeBron and AD. Now we got a point guard that can take us into the future. I think his talent is that way. I think he can be that talented. But I think he's about 2 or 3 years away from actually having that type of impact. His turnover issues, his overall awareness, the maturity, all of that has to come along. So if I bring him in, he's my starting point guard, yeah. But do I think we have a ceiling to win a championship? That's what I want people to understand about BDF. I don't think this team has a ceiling to win a championship, so I'm already rebuilding right now. I'm not getting rid of AD and Bron because nobody will allow me to. But the stuff that I'm trying to bring to me is stuff that is going to be here after they're gone, which is why I've been on this Cam Whitmore tip for the last 24 hours, because I really genuinely believe that our plan is meant to make Bron and AD happy, and that's cool. But again, I'm in the future. They're already gone as far as I can tell. I'm already trying to make sure that I hedge my bets for when that happens, so that I'm not falling off a cliff upon Bron's retirement. I want to be so plump as a franchise when LeBron retires, I don't even necessarily feel his presence leaving. That's how good I want my team to be when he's gone. So if we're not planning for that, I just have bad memories of the Bulls when they blew their team up after Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen went to the Blazers or the Rockets or whatever the hell they did, and how bad that team went. Elton Brand ended up coming in. It was a horrible, horrible tumble forward, and they haven't been any good ever since. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. LeBron James cannot pull the rug out from under our entire franchise by leaving. And that is exactly what he will be doing if we keep bringing him pieces that fit him. Enough. I want KPJ coming in because I know he's going to be somebody that's going to be here, being better at his best, probably ready to make an all-star team when LeBron James decides to exit. That's why I bring that player in. And I bring him in knowing that he's that good, and he could be my point guard until then because he's that good. I have to live with his mistakes. I probably have to have somebody in place that can play point guard. I'm going to keep Austin Reeves so that we can have him being more of a point guard. These point guard duties are so essential because I know that KPJ is a talent, not necessarily a floor general right now. The reason why you go after him right now is because you realize that Amen Thompson was just drafted and they have their point guard. So they need to get rid of a young point guard. Simple. That's why you go after him now. You don't go after him now because you think he's ready. You go after him now because it's the best time to do it. And if you don't, you ain't going to get him because he's going to find himself on another team. And if he develops into what it is he's supposed to, or if they believe in him the way I do, you're not going to be able to get him from him. That's why you do that. But you got to understand what his talent level actually is in order to see that it's necessary. If you look at him as just an average star, then it's probably not necessary. But if you look at him as somebody who can make several all-star teams, maybe even be, scraping superstar or something like that, which I think he may be when it's all said and done, then you don't necessarily want to wait until everybody else sees that in him to bring him in. You want to have him in doing that and becoming that already in your uniform. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. After doing homework on him last year, I just realized he can do certain things that you can't teach. Ambidextrous, left hand, right hand, just as talented with both sides. Some James Harden, blender ability. He's got a lot of stuff in his game that he just has to refine and make super. And he's only 23 years old, so it's coming. And you've already seen enough of it in a nutshell statistically to know that he's a monster statistically even now. And judging from what I've seen from him from the G League before he even got in the league, the stuff he was doing down there, unprecedented. And I haven't forgotten, which is why I always have him on my mind as a player to bring in, because I know he has a natural ability. There's a lot of people who can play. It's a lot of people who are good. And then you get to Kyrie Irvings, you get these Allen Iversons, and I think he got a little bit of that in him. It's just super early. And he got off to a rough start with his career. Bad spots. Cleveland and the Rockets. He's never had a chance to really do anything because both of those teams never wanted to do anything while he was on the team. And so that's why I look at him as somebody the Lakers bring in, let him mature here. But see, he's not a Laker guy. Remember we talking about that look? He don't have that Laker look. He's not a Laker guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. It could be also a good thing because the Lakers bring to them people they can manage, people that fit the brand, people that have a certain character about them that is going to play ball with us. There ain't going to be no problems. Ain't going to be nobody acting like they doing too much. That's what I like about the way the Lakers select their personnel. But sometimes you end up passing up the best guys because of that criteria, and maybe that doesn't necessarily work every time. Yeah, you might pass up on a headache TO type dude You might pass up on the early Dennis Rodman type tendencies, but you may also pass up on the talent that comes with them brothers too. And that's what helps you really win championships and be dominant. And I'm going to tell you right now, Shaq and Kobe were not Laker guys. Not by way of their personality and their look, no. They were superstar talents that we were lucky to have. And so I just want to leave people with that understanding, because we do tend to just go after Laker guys. He looks like a Laker. I can point out Laker guys before they even get here, because we all know what they look like. We all know, hey, that's a Laker guy. It just has a vibe about him. But that vibe doesn't always come with the most powerful skill set. And sometimes we be leaving that powerful skill set on the board, and I just don't really know if we're not overthinking that part of what we're doing as a franchise. Everybody might be overthinking that. So I don't know. Those who deal with that type of stuff know better than me. I don't have to be in the room with these guys every day. I don't have to, I don't have to deal with personalities. Once you deal with certain personalities for years and years and years, you get to a point where it's like, I know what works for me, man. And I get that. If that's what the Lakers are saying in response to this, I understand it. But you're going to run into a situation where you don't take that guy, you're going to get to the finals, and that's going to be the guy coming against you, and he's going to win. That's what I'm worried about. It's like, yo, he's going to always remember we passed on him. He going to always remember that. Every time he played the Lakers, he's going to remember that. And it's just one of them situations where it's like, I would rather a guy like Jalen Hood-Schifino be mad at me like that for the next 10 years than a guy like Cam Whitmore be mad at me like that. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at that. It's like, yo, he going to be aggressively dunking on everybody we put in uniform for the next 10, 12 years. I just have a different way of looking at things. And maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't get the big bucks. Sometimes I look at things the opposite way of the experts. They bring in what makes sense for the modern era, and you will get the results you're looking for. Jump shooting, personality traits that work. Guys, athleticism doesn't matter as much. Length doesn't matter as much. You got to be able to shoot from the perimeter. If he's a great shot maker, he can play. I don't care if he can rebound. I don't care if he can block shots. I don't care if he's getting other guys involved necessarily. So long as he's super efficient from all three levels, he's going to make all-star teams. If I listen to everybody from this era, that's pretty much what I'm supposed to believe, and I just don't. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that. I've seen too many guys come in and only be able to shoot the ball. And you know what it turns into? 16 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 rebound, 0 point. You lost because all they did was hit shots, fam. But in this era, spacing is God. And I'm telling you, man, I just don't know if this era is going to be what we continue to see as over the course of several years, when these Amen Thompsons and Cam Whitmores and Shaedon Sharps start to grow. The new league that they're going to be a part of may not necessarily be as much about spacing the floor and jump shooting, but more so about how to stop these monsters. These Zion Williamsons, these Paolo Bancheros that keep coming into the league. Your spacing is cool, but these athletes keep coming, bro. They keep coming. And the thing that you can rely upon with these athletes in the past is that they're going to bust a knee because they jump all the time, and that's what happens. But I'm telling you, the human evolution, as I understand it to be, means that these guys are going to be healthier doing the things that they've prone to do. And eventually, you're going to start running into these dudes that don't get hurt. And they're going to be doing this for 70 games. Dunking on your head, getting 30 points a game because they just can't get off the floor faster than your guys can. And that's what I'm worried about. I look at a team like the Houston Rockets with the type of athletes they have. I don't know if you're going to be able to space them off the floor, fam, because they're going to be just faster, bigger, stronger, and more athletic than you. Every night, you're going to find yourself seeing how much pressure they put on the rim and realizing you ain't got no answer for that. They're drawing fouls on every play. You ain't stopping Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, and all these dudes. It's just going to be a lot. Alperen Sengun and his 250 pounds, all of that. I'm telling you. So a lot of jump shooting teams are going to find out they're going to have a hard time not fouling these guys. And when you got an aggressive player like Cam Whitmore, puts the pressure on the rim, dunks the ball the way that he does, and you look at our team who's had problems putting pressure on the rim, and we want to bring in a guard that don't put no pressure on the rim. You know, one of the reasons why we were so successful is because we had Russell Westbrook last year, the first half of the season, doing the entire rim rattling for our whole team. We would never have problems with points in the paint or fast break because we had that player rushing at the rim constantly. We lost that and didn't replace it. And we had a chance to get a guy like Cam Whitmore who's going to do that all game. And we said, nah, because we want a mid-range specialist point guard. I don't know, Lakers. The more I think about it, the less I like it. The more I think about it, the less it makes sense. And I like I said, the first night I saw it clearly. All the logic was there, and I'm telling you, it's still there. Everything I said that night, I still feel. It just, for what we're trying to accomplish, it was the right decision. I just think what we're trying to accomplish may be misguided. I think we're a little too polished right now. We're a little too comfortable with who we are, and not more so looking at, yo, God just brought us a talent that's crazy great jumping out the gym. Maybe we need to kind of consider that the fact that we brought LeBron James to this team because we were enamored with that type of thing. That type of thing. That's why we wanted Bron. We wanted the king because we wanted that type of thing. And so I'm not saying he's going to be LeBron James. I'm certain he's not going to be LeBron James. Neither will anybody else. But we got to respect when we get a six dude, 240 pounds, that don't do nothing but dunk and fly and play defense and block shots and just be faster than everybody else doing so. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel terrible about it when I see that dude dunk the ball and then get low and then sprint back the other way. I'm like, yo, are you serious? You didn't take that guy. All right, maybe he's a bust. Maybe he turns into a bust. Maybe he turns it to the next Anthony Bennett. As to which you feel great. Jalen Hood-Schifino turns into, like Spaces said on Laker Nation, turns into Malcolm Brogdon. I like it. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna be mad. But if he turned into Shawn Kemp, or if he turned into what Zion should have been, or if he turns into some monstrous type thing like that, I don't know, man. I don't know. For all those who are worried about his medicals, the Rockets sure as hell don't look like they worry about his medicals. They put him in a red uniform today, smiling and all that. They don't look too worried, Lakers. They don't look worried. For those who are just terrified that he ain't going to be able to get on the floor this year, guess what? He's going to be there. He's going to be in the summer league too, dunking on people. So whatever was wrong with his medicals, they wasn't that wrong. He will be available. I don't know, man. I don't know. Jalen Hood-Schifino better be one hell of a jump shooter, bro. He's going to hit all his mid-range jumpers, because every time he don't, all I'm going to be thinking about is Cam Whitmore flying through the sky. And how fantastic that would have been. Electrifying that would have been in our uniform for many, 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 many years to come. But we got our Jordan Farmar, so I guess we cool, man. I guess we cool, y'all. I guess we all right. So that's what I'm going to say, man. I don't want to complain too much. Like, I started this video very excited about all the prospects, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm feeling good about 17. No. No. The more I study the player, the less I feel good about this. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. And he's cool. He's going to be a good player. Don't get it twisted. You're happy you have him. It's going to be many teams that want him now. I get it. But damn it. The 5th overall best prospect is on the board, and you leave him there, stick to the plan, the building around a 39-year-old dude. And you want me as a fan who values youth and athleticism the way that I do to be okay with that? I'm trying, y'all. I'm seriously trying. BDL44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.